Hey, everybody, step away for 1 second, but we'll get started here in about 3 minutes. Now in 2 minutes, we'll get started. I'm going to mute you guys just because of background noise. I don't know why it's not muting automatically, but we'll see. All right. 1 more minute. Maria is going to be a minute late getting on. She's on another call and she's taking cliff notes for us. So I told her I'd start this call while she finishes another Healy call that was a leader call. So hopefully she'll have some good stuff. I just have a few announcements short, and then we'll get right into taking questions or conversations. Tonight, I have my resonance. I didn't have it last week because Lindsay had one and I had loaned my other one out. But tonight, I'm in business. So if you have Blue Dot app questions, tonight's the night to ask it. Okay, it's 5 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start to make sure that we're recording. Yeah, we are. Okay. So I'm going to try to, until Maria gets on, I also have to man this thing to admit people. So let's start with just stuff. Okay. So first of all, this Saturday, I think there's already like 50 people signed up. Maria and I are doing a free workshop that it was really kind of part of the advanced workshop, but we didn't have time for it. And we were trying to get the green laser put together. So we are doing it free as kind of an add-on, but we made it available to everybody. So a green laser is this, and it's it has a crystal thing in the middle of it, you can see, and it has some stuff in there. It has some magnets, and it has just all kinds of stuff going on with this laser. The laser part is nothing. It's just a simple laser. It's the sleeve that is where the magic happens. And this Saturday from 11 to probably 2, we're going to talk about how to use it, what you can use it for, how you can do clearing techniques, like especially for those people that may not know how to do a clearing technique. Tonight, I just had this conversation on a call, the last call I was on. It was a practitioner call, and she wanted help with, well, what do I do with this? How do I clear this stuff? Like if jealousy keeps showing up or anger keeps showing up. So there is actually ways to do that. We covered some of that in the advanced workshop. This is just another way. So anyway, it's free. It starts at 11 Central Time. The Zoom link is in the newsletter I sent yesterday. I'll probably send one other reminder out on Friday, just so you can attend if you want. If you are not interested in the laser, it's okay. You still might get some ideas out of it. Some, tricks and tips and stuff like that. So that's one announcement. And the other announcement is on Wednesdays, Maria, you guys got that email. I don't even know when I said that last night late. Maria is going to start doing minutes with Maria. And so we decided to do it this way because some people just want to know how to use their Healy. They don't want to know about the back office. They don't want to know about commissions or building or legs or any of that stuff. I'm kind of on that boat myself. I really want to know how to use it and be effective with it. And I think I got that part under control. Maria is super duper in the business building and all that stuff and how to manage the back office. I mean, I know how to do it. It's just not something I love to do. I actually try to avoid it. But you know, depends on what you are doing with Healy. If you want to build a business and understand everything, we decided to break this into 2 calls. So we'll be doing the technical kind of user app questions on Tuesday night. So that's not going to change. But if you have back office questions, commission questions, I pay questions, how to build a business, how to understand the legs, she's going to cover that stuff on Wednesdays. So if you guys have people under you that fall under one category of the other, like they don't know how to deal with their back office, or if they're having blue dot app questions, then you kind of know which call to lead them to. Tuesday nights, technical, app, support, user, what to do for what. That's Tuesday tonight. Wednesday is back office, commission, structure, building, business, Healy business stuff. Okay. If you have questions on both and it's a quick question, I'm not going to go into a long, lengthy discussion of legs or commissions on the call, because actually I honestly probably can't even answer those questions. Not as good as Maria can. I know the basics, but then you can ask. It's just that, you know, if you're on the call tomorrow night with Maria, she is not going to go through a blue dot app technical issue, because what happens with Zoom, and some of you know that do Zoom calls, is if I'm on Zoom on my phone and I don't even get emails on my phone, I can't really easily show my screen and show you the back office stuff. And on the phone, that's impossible anyway. And then vice versa. If she's on her computer, she can't show you the Healy apps and run it like you would on a phone or a tablet. So there's just some little things like that going on too that affect how the calls are. You know, that's how we're a good team, because I always have you guys on my phone and she has you on the laptop, which tonight she is going to show you the program list from the back office. And so that's important to know. And then there isn't, besides the Tuesday and Wednesday calls and the green laser thing this weekend, there's nothing else going on except we are talking about the end of February having a pet seminar. And one other thing to mention, because I'm getting this question a lot in the last week, if you attended the advanced workshop that we did in November, and or you paid for the prosperity broadcast, your broadcast, we told you guys, because you guys had done it, we had extended it through January 31st. Okay, so those broadcasts expire and we're picking up where we left off, plus adding new stuff every week like we did before, and communicating stuff to you guys. So if you are interested in doing that and you were in the previous group, then just make sure you do it before the end of the month. That link was sent out yesterday. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm sending New Vision broadcasts to everyone to help support financial, health, brain, mood, communication. I mean, literally every facet of your life. So someone said, well, I don't know, because it's like mostly about money. It is almost nothing about money. Prosperity to me is abundance, and abundance means, you know, how happy you are and blessings in your life. And, you know, it is success too, and it is money, but it's also success in your health. It's success in your goals. It's really honestly every facet of your life. And if you were in the advanced workshop and got the list of what was sent just in that period of time, it's a lot of stuff. So anyway, if you have questions about that, you can ask me, because I'm the one that's setting up the broadcast and Maria's the one communicating with you guys on a weekly basis. So I think that's all the announcements until Maria comes on and then she shares. Let me see. I don't think she's on yet. But when she gets off that other call, she's going to come on and give us, like I said, the cliff notes of that call. And then I'll stop talking and stop taking questions. There's a few things, and I want to say this because I just got an email from someone like shortly, and it's someone I really like, that I want to read his email because I really covered this last week. I don't know if he is on the Tuesday calls, but this is one of the things that I talk about a lot with, with support. But this is something that I say this every week, and I don't know if people are not taking me seriously or if they are just not getting it, but I have zero problems with my Healy. I do not think it has to do with when I bought it. I don't think it has to do with anything. I think it has to do with, like, I know the sequence of how to do things, and I don't take calls. I don't check text. I don't have anything on my Bluetooth. And I just have a habit of closing the app properly every time I use it. And when I do that, nothing goes wrong. Now, if you get a text or you get something beeping or buzzing, and then you're trying to download the Pink Dot app, which we went into great detail last week about this. And if you have other Bluetooth devices, even if you're not in your car, and this is what people say, well, but it's my car and it's my Bluetooth and I need that. Okay, well then buy a second device for your Healy. I mean, I don't know how else to tell you. I have zero problems, and I have nothing, like I can show up my screen in a second, but if you have these glitchy things happening, and I put my phone on do not disturb. I don't try to use Healy during the day when I've got 18 million things going on, which is my life. I do it at night when I've already put my phone on do not disturb. I'm not taking one more call. I'm not looking at text. I don't even care if someone's dying. Like, I am dealing with me and my doggy. There's Maria coming on. So then I don't care if anyone texts me because I'm not looking at text. But if you're the person that can't do that, you can't like unplug from your phone, then you need a second device so that Healy can run properly and not be interfered by all the craziness going on between your text blowing up and someone's calling you. And it never fails, like when you're trying to do a download or something, that the phone rings and maybe it hasn't rang in an hour. I think that that's kind of normal. So I'm going to read this part of this email because it has to do with, I think, something that a lot of you said last week. But he says he bought a Healy a few months ago and it started to do less and less each month. They're talking about it has to do with the same time they bought, same model. And the Analyze app is having problems, which we talked about last week, but I couldn't show you remember the Blue Dot app, which I'm going to do tonight. And so in every single case, and I'm not exaggerating, I don't know if there's a single case, and these are Houston people, because in Houston, you can come to my place. And they've said this, they come in, they have stuff on their Bluetooth, and we take it off of Bluetooth or we connect it to my phone. So your number one troubleshooting thing before you think it's a Healy problem is you should connect it to a different device. And, everybody knows someone else with a cell phone. It takes 5 minutes to load the app and try it on another phone. If it works on the other phone, and if your Bluetooth is off, which I'll show you in a second after Maria gives us the updates, then there's your answer. There's some conflict. Either maybe you have an app loaded that's interfering. Maybe, like I said, it's your Bluetooth, because even if your car is turned off, like mine is outside, your Bluetooth is still searching. Like, that's what Bluetooth does. It's searching for devices that you normally connect to, because it's trying to find something to connect to. So it doesn't matter if your car's turned off in the garage, they're still trying to talk to each other. I mean, your car's turned off, obviously it's not talking, but that doesn't mean your phone isn't searching for it, because that's what it's used to connecting to and to working. So that's one thing, but that's the first thing that we ask if people call here for help is, do you have anything on your Bluetooth? I've even had Lindsay say, I want a picture. I want a screenshot of your phone. And people say, well, I don't have anything. And then they send me the picture and they have 5 things connected. And I'm like, okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so anyway, since Maria's on, Maria, I already gave you a great introduction and said you're gonna give us the.
I'm gonna heal the world.
You're gonna fix everyone's problem and give them all the answers, because I'm always the bad news giver. So.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the bearer of all the good news this today, because the meeting I was just on was a lot about escalating issues, which I think we should talk about. But they still have not resolved the points for activation. There is a manager's meeting or a higher corp manager meeting in Las Vegas, I think they said. next week, and then Tammy and Vanessa will be at part of their meeting then of the resolution of what they found at their meeting on the like 24th or 26th. So it doesn't give us much time towards the end of the month to really know exactly what we're looking at.
Well, why don't you start from the beginning there, because some people may not have even known what you were referring to.
Right.
Like,
So, okay. So as of January 1st, in order for us to receive all the commissions due us, if we're building a business with Healy, we need to be active, meaning that we need to either be purchasing subscriptions on our own, which include the watch, the connector. So the watch connector is a subscription. The Heal Advisor search app is a subscription. The digital nutrition is a subscription. The bioenergetic revitalization, and now the animal. Those are all subscriptions. So how you become active is by purchasing or having a subscription to one or more of those to equal a certain amount based on your rank. And then also you get points or credit for any customers who also have subscriptions, not members, but customers. And a lot of us don't even have customers yet because we've been signing everybody up for free. And because all of the links were not super justifiable. So we never knew if a customer was going to be orphaned to the company or actually be one of our customers. So a lot of people just said, I'm not even going to go that route till they make all of those pathways secure. I know Gwen and I talked about that many times. It's like, I'm not even signing anybody up as a customer. I'm signing everybody up as a member. But now we need to look at being qualified in order for us to get our the bonuses that we want to be paid on, the commissions we want to be paid on. So for a member builder up to senior leader is where you goes up to 100 PV. And the discrepancy was that they put the digital nutrition at 50 PV. And it was $95. And then all of a sudden they changed the digital nutrition. So now it's only, what is it, 42 PV or 47 PV or something just under 50 PV. They did lower the price, but then that requires you then to purchase another subscription to get up to 50 PV. So our leaders here in America were very disgruntled by that, because why make someone in your downline purchase another subscription just to get to the PV when that may not be a subscription that they really will utilize or need. So our goal is to help hopefully get our point volume or PV to 25, 50, and 100. Have all the subscriptions fall within those categories so that as we're moving up into our business and ranking up, then we will know exactly what we need. So right now, what's guaranteed is if you purchase the animal and the revitalization, those two equal 50 PV. And the majority of people on this call, unless you're a senior team leader or above, you fall within that rank. How you find your rank is on the dashboard of your back office. It'll show what your rank is. And like mine right now, my highest rank is manager. I've now dropped down to senior team leader, but it shows how many PV I have in subscriptions and what I need. So it shows on your dashboard, and then we can go into that if you want to share your screen at some point. So anyway, but that's what we're talking about, is that hopefully we were hoping that team leader meeting earlier today was going to have resolved that already, so I could bring to you good news about the points, and that hasn't happened yet.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, please do.
Yes. So I just wanted to tell everybody to rest assured, you don't absolutely have to have the active status until March. Okay. So don't worry about this week. This month, if you don't have anything, it's nice to go ahead and get started with it, but don't worry about it because it's not going to count until March.
Okay,
right?
that's the part that I missed. I just didn't, I thought it was about the ranking part, not that you didn't even have to be qualified till March.
Yes. So
we're talking the end of March.
Yes, the end of March.
Okay.
Yes, number one. And what'll happen is in March, like say you hit, and also it's 50 PV to be active until you get to manager and above, it's 100. Okay. So like, for example, if I make manager in January, then I know for March, I'm going to have 100 PV, but we're going to have more, you know, more Zooms and everything on this. I just want everybody to not worry about it. It's not really qualified till the end of March. So
Thank you, because I did not understand that part when Tammy was, I thought she meant that it was literally you had, it was about the ranking part, not about that you didn't have to be qualified till the end of March. That's a really key piece that I didn't understand. So good.
and also the fact of the subscriptions, they lowered, this is what a lot of people are seeing. They lowered the DNA app down to 40 PV, which we don't want. We want to at least be 50, but people are still being charged that. And Frank was not aware of that. So he's like, okay, so he is on that like today, checking that out. So for those of you who got charged for the DNA app, but it still did not show, you know, you just got the low 40 PV, they're working on that. They're going to fix that. So anyway, I just wanted to interject that. So
See, and mine shows that I ordered the DNA and it shows 50 PV. So I paid
And
the
we're-
95. Yeah.
yeah, we're seeing it all over the board, but we are going to get those resolved. Just hang on, it's coming, and we're trying to get bundles. So for those of you who came in and you had the 3 months of free subscriptions with the bundle, if something happened like a credit card glitch or anything could have happened, you can't get back into that bundle price. Okay.
Mhm.
So we're trying to say, okay, let's come up with bundles that people can get their 50 PV or 100 PV for those who love animals and those who don't need an animal thing, you know, and different things coming up. So I'm really excited about what's coming down the pipeline. And anyway, I'll let you continue with it.
No, I'm so glad you interjected because I still had customers and patients and I was in and out on that call. One thing that I didn't hear, Vanessa, if you could clarify, is the washing of the points. Can you clarify that your points don't wash if you're not active? Or
Okay, no, if you're not active, if you, like come March, if you are not active, then yes, your points are supposedly going to wash.
on both legs, 0-0.
Mhm. So for
Okay.
those, for those of you who have a lot of points, you know, that's something you don't want to lose. I've got some people that have over $200,000, not points, dollars on one leg. So it's very important that they're going to stay active. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for coming in with that because I was in and out on that call, unfortunately.
Well, before we move topics, do either one of you or Cindy, I see Cindy on here and a few other people that were probably on that call. Does anyone else want to add anything that was important from that call that everybody should probably know now?
I will say this, and I came on a little late because of that meeting, Gwen. So I don't know what all you were talking about prior before I got on, but I would, and you and Marie are so wonderful about teaching everybody with IT and everything. But we are going have everyone listen to Ken Close's call last Friday, because what you were just describing about having more devices on, and because it's a connection issue. All right. And he goes through all of that step by step, why you don't want to have why you want to have more storage on your phone, why you don't want to have all these other devices, even in your office, what's going on, it could reflect it. So have them listen to that. And if you don't have it, I'll send that to you when we get done. Also, Martin Whitman on our corporate call last Wednesday, he also went through a lot of issues with the blue and the pink dot that's going on. And I'll just say this too, that a lot of the issues that's going on, probably 99% of them are not the Healy. Okay. They are platform issues, and the platform, and every time Android or Apple products, anytime anybody does an update, and all the other devices out there, that has a problem with the platform. And so they're actually doing some beta testing on a new platform that should be able to handle all the different devices. So that's coming as well. We've got IT coming, customer support coming, y'all. It's really so exciting what we've got coming down the line here. But for sure, if you have any issues at all, you want to go through and listen to Ken Close's call last Friday, and they're going to be doing one that was the Blue Dot app, how it's not connected, or maybe you see it a dark screen or a blank screen. And then the other one it's going to be coming up is the pink dot and the watch. So, and they're putting all this on that the My Device Help, and they're like labeling where, like say you got an issue with the screen going blank, they'll have that there and where you go on the marker of that video. So that's coming down, and I'll get that to you if you don't have it.
That's excellent, Vanessa. And in fact, if you'll send it to me, I'll send it out by the weekend to everybody, because that is something that I'm getting a lot of emails about. I know Maria is. And if I can send that close video just link out to everybody if in case they don't know how to get it. I'm going to tell you, I keep saying this every week, and I know people think I'm just like full of it, but I promise you, if you're in the Houston area and you tell me you're having one of these problems, and I make people drive here and say, okay, let's see it. They come here and it's always the same story. It's always, they have these other things going on. They have these other connections. And then when they get here, we put it on my phone, it works fine. We put it on my tablet, it works fine. We get all their stuff closed and everything, you know, clean. And then it works. And they're like, well, it didn't work for me. And I'm like, how many times are we going to say this? If you're going to leave those Bluetooth connections open, then stop griping. You know, like that's the only thing I can tell people is clean up your device. The other thing I'll say, and this is because of my programming background, and it has to do with what Vanessa said, but I'm going to explain it a little bit differently. So like with New Vision, we also depend on other platforms. Like we use Java, we use other platforms. Well, there was a period of time about 6 years ago that Java had a major update that they just pushed out that we were not aware of and had no notice of. And then New Vision didn't work. And I got a bunch of calls one morning. It's down, it's never been down. And it was like, crap. It took Kevin 2 days to reverse engineer. And this is on, you know, then you got Macs, and then you got PCs, and then you got Dells, and then you got HPs, and you got Windows 7, and you got Windows 10. And then some of you guys are running Safari, and some of you have 4,000 apps open in the background of your phone. Well, Healy cannot figure all that out, what every possibility and everything is going on. And some people have old phones with Windows, I mean, equivalent to like Windows 7. Then people have iPhone 11s or I'm an iPhone 7. And then you got all these different types of Androids. And so it's a programming nightmare, honestly, because in Europe, they could test it on 10 different devices with 10 different platforms. And you're going to be one of those people that they didn't test on your particular phone combination, whatever. I'll tell you what I've always done. And I know that this is like, some people would freak out with this. I have my iPhone automatic updates turned off. I do not allow automatic updates on my desktop. On Windows 10, it's very hard to stop automatic updates, by the way, but you can. Anytime there's an automatic update, you have 10 different, it's like the spider web, and you have 10 different people doing stuff. It's just like right now with, you know, Parlor down and Gab down and all these things. One person, it's like a Jenga game. You pull like one peg out and the whole thing crashes. It's just like that with apps, and it's just like that with computer programs and desktops and PCs. So what Vanessa said is absolutely correct. And that's why I'm still going to suggest it's worth, in my opinion, $100 for a Samsung tablet to have only your Healy on there and have peace of mind and not craziness. And I told the story last week, but I'm going to repeat it. I had a client come in who's very active on her phone. I could tell just because of the time she was sitting here, she had to check her text. Like we couldn't have a conversation without her checking her text and responding to something 4, 5, 6, 7 times. If that's you and you're worried your kids are dying or someone's been in a car wreck and you're constantly, I got to check a text, got to respond to text. Well, it could be my kid. Well, if you're that person, I'm recommending a second device, because every time that you check a text and you go out of the Blue Dot app or you go out of when it's downloading in the program, you're going to have a glitchy experience, and you're going to say, I mean, this is what this lady said. Well, it's $1,500. It should work correctly. Well, I mean, how does anything work if you're going in and out of the app every 5 seconds? You know, I mean, even like have you guys, I mean, we all have the same problems, even with YouTube or whatever. You go in, you stop. I mean, you've watched 14 minutes of a video, you go to do something else, you come back and you're like, crap, now I got to restart the video, or you don't know where you left off, or it's not even the video up anymore. You have to go find it. I mean, this happens to all of us in every app. You know, it's not like this thing that has no problem. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're having some issues. I do want to go into the Blue Dot app tonight. I would really appreciate to send out that if they talked about connection problems, because that's also what I think is going on with most people that are having problems. I know from Maria and I, and Vanessa, I'm sure too, Cindy, is when you use the Healy the same every time, you have a sequence of things that you do, you close the apps, you have nothing else connected on Bluetooth, there are no problems. It works like you expect it to work, and it doesn't act glitchy, and it doesn't, do the things that people are talking about. Okay, before I get into the Blue Dot app, I'd asked Maria to pull up the program list, because I don't know that everyone doesn't know you have access to this, because I get a lot of questions, and some of the questions I've gotten this week had to do with like, I'm going to make you co-host, Maria, so you can
Okay.
pull up the program list. But like, I had a person who emailed me and she said, I heard that Healy, you can use it for addictions, but where is that? It's on the program list. It doesn't say addictions on the app. You have to go into the program list. Another one that isn't obvious too much is like, dental issues. The only thing that really shows up there is pain, but I would say it just depends on what you're trying to, is there an infection? Then you'd go to infection. But sometimes especially on the mental, under contentment and well-being, that's where your anxiety and depression, it doesn't say anxiety and depression on the app. It says it on the program list. So Maria's going to show you how to get to the program list. And if you haven't done this already, I do recommend that you go in and print. I have one of those all over the place. I have one sitting on my desk. I have one in my living room. I kind of know it by now, but when you're a new Healy person and you're looking for stuff like that, you need to know where that is. So anyway, Maria, you talk about where you're going to find that.
Okay, so we have, you're in your back office, and let me get out of here really quick. Okay, so your back office, over on the left-hand side is my tools, and you're going to go to my downloads. Click on that. Now it's been kind of glitchy, and it'll take you to where, now it looks like it's going to work, so that's good. But sometimes it'll take you completely out into the back of your shop. And then what I tell people is to come back over here, instead of hitting the back button, hold the back button down. I've got my mouse depressed right now, and then I would go down to one of these other ones. It seems like an easier way to get back than just hitting the back button. So for whatever reason, this has been kind of glitchy for people. But anyway, you're going to go to my tools and my downloads. And if it goes here, like it just did, then we're going to look for the program list. And I haven't gone this way because it's actually on the program overview. Let's see if this is it. There we go. Program Healy descriptions. Now I haven't done this one because we have it on ATP 123, and that's usually where I go to send people. But this is where you would go to get that. If you want to go
on ATP, like you can show them on ATP too, if you think that's easier for people to find it.
Okay. Let me see if do you see ATP right now, or do I have to change my screen?
I see it.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go down here to start here. And then we're going to go to purchase and Healy editions. Again, it's just in your first steps. Okay. And then if you scroll down, here's all the places you can get your program list. So here's the program manual, the enhanced list from the back office, a video description of the list. Max did that in the very beginning. And then we also have this one that you can go through and look. Did you want to look at one specifically, Gwen?
I have mine open, and I thought we could, where I think that a lot of things are really cool that most people just never took the time to read it is under mental. I think there's a lot of good stuff there, like about confidence when you feel dejected, addiction issues, recovery from addiction. I think those are awesome, and also think that really people should read the gold program descriptions, because they're always told go to Pure and Release, but man, the descriptions are pretty awesome, and it might make you a little more convinced to do them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've even had in the mental help somebody with their erectile dysfunction under emotional well-being. So there's lots of good things that can happen. and the brain, the brain chemistry is really in the mental balance. That's where you're going to find your brain chemistry, because it has a lot to do with the neurotransmitters, the GABA, serotonin, the dopamine. That's why it talks about addiction in here. And the learning is really about brain function. So if we can go down to the learning, maybe I passed it.
I want to,
Sorry,
while you're learning, I want to say under
it is.
contentment, systemic, as it helps avoid addictive and compensatory behaviors. And that's, I for some reason, I get that question at least once a week. Because they heard it on a call, but they don't know where to find it. And I'm always like, did you look at the program list? So everyone should go through this, I think, with a highlighter and look and see what, appeals to you. But anyway, job and sleep too is another one where there's kind of little things hidden there.
Mm-hmm. Let me go back up. Sorry. Job and sleep here. Mm-hmm.
Learning, job and sleep. I mean, I go to these a lot. And I think when people see like the one that says adrenals, what makes sense under exhaustion, but they're thinking, well, that just means tired. But if you need adrenal help, because people say, well, there's not a program for adrenals. Yes, there is.
All of the ones that are relaxation are adrenally driven. That's to calm you, bring your parasympathetic system up and calm down your sympathetic system, depress the gas pedal, depress the braking pad and let up on the gas pedal. So anything that says relax or calm or fine flow or anything like that, peaceful, calm, whatever in the deep cycle, all of those are helpful for the adrenals. This one really is really good too with the activation, the bioenergetic stimulation and mental clarity. That's amazing. If you've got something you're learning or, you have to be kind of on target for something that you're doing as far as presenting, then yeah, that's a good one to be running.
Yeah. Someone's asked us to slow down on, I guess, going over it. But the point is to get these pages. I mean, we're not saying anything that's not in writing. So if you print these pages and just go through it, you're going to find what we're talking about. We're not saying is in the program list.
Right. And then up in the learning one. So the mental one is more about brain chemistry. And in the learning, we're looking at brain function. So that's how we can sort of discern.
Yeah. And the other one that is a little tricky that's not obvious is that depression and anxiety are under pain. It says pain psyche on the program list, but in the app, it looks like it's all pain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But that's another reason that there's so many people dealing with depression, anxiety that they need to have, again, this list because that 7 and 8 are related to the depression and anxiety.
Yeah, the 7 is depression and then 8 is anxiety. And they have to have the Roman numerals because those are considered disease states by our FDA. So all of these are Roman numerals.
Maria, something real quick, so I have to walk away just for a second.
Okay. And so when we're talking about depression too, here in the pain as well, because pain can cause depression, depression can cause pain. So it makes sense that they're both, or that all of those are located in the pain. But when we go down to the mental balance, when we're looking at neurotransmitters, we're looking at that, the dopamine, the serotonin, all the things the lack of them would cause depression too. So any of these things could be helpful for that as well. Well-being soul, if you haven't run it, even though it says resisting habitual behaviors, it's very calming, very satisfying. You just come to a place of, oh, I like this. And the same with the emotional well-being. So all of these are great for just brain chemistry. I do wish they would go into a little bit more detail, but unfortunately they haven't. Noni, you have a question. Do you want to unmute yourself?
Let's see, I am unmuted. Yeah, I was
Okay.
just going to say, I sent you guys the link for the new manual because they've updated some of the names and descriptions. And I just noticed when you led us to the back office that list has the updated descriptions as well and names.
Awesome. Okay, then we'll have to have Tanya, if you're on the call, you need to take that new one and do the enhanced color version for us. And she has taken all of these and put them in dark text instead of this gray text that web designers decide they like better than the black text. So Tanya, if you're on the call, if not, I will get with her. But thank you for that, because yeah, they're constantly updating stuff in the back office and we need to be paying attention to that. The other thing that was on the call, and I've already put it in the chat. Let's see, did I actually, I don't think I pressed send. Let me do that really quick. When we were talking about escalating tickets. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening for people. A lot of it, like we talked about, is just the platform, and it's about the Bluetooth. I'll give you an example. My mom helped get somebody up on their Healy, and she just it just was the white screen. She couldn't get it to go. And I said, is the Bluetooth light activated? And it was on the Healy, so it was blinking. And I said, well, you need to hard swipe your app closed. Well, she had an iPhone, newer iPhone, so she had to do the really hard swipe up to show all of her apps. She didn't actually know how to do that, so she did that. The Bluetooth was still blinking. Well, it turns out that at some point her daughter had used her phone, her dad's phone, to start her Healy. So now his phone is running his Healy in the other room. But guess what? His phone has activated the Bluetooth in her Healy. So she's thinking that her phone is connected to the Healy, and it's not. So once she actually was able to push that or swipe up hard enough to show the apps that were open so she could close the Healy app, and the Bluetooth was still blinking. Now I'm like, well, some phone is still connected to the Healy, because that's the only way it happens. Well, then they found Wally's phone and they closed the app, and then it was done. Then when she went back into her phone and found it, it worked just fine. So again, there's a lot with that Bluetooth that's a little bit tricky. And so I just wanted to give that little story in case you have a couple of people in your home and you've used each other's Healys. That could definitely be happening. Okay, so I'm going to just right now I'm going to talk about escalation, and I'm going to click over into the chat. I've put the list that was on the call I was just on, all of the things that we need for escalation if there's an issue or a ticket that you've had for 30 days or more. And I'm going to go ahead and put also the Gwen and Maria 2020 at Gmail. So what they would like us to do is any issues you've had that are 30 days or more and you've put in a ticket already and haven't had any response, then if you could fill out exactly what's in here and send it to us, we will then help and get it to either Vanessa or Tammy so that we can get it escalated. But we can't do anything unless all of this information is here. So I'm looking at the chat right now that I just put in. We would need your ticket number that you've put in and the date it was submitted. You can find that in your back office. I can show that here in a minute. We want your order number, and I'll show you where to find it. You're going to go under in your back office and you'll go into my orders. It's under my shop. You'll go into orders and you'll be able to see the ticket. I'll show you what that looks like. We'll need your name and your username and your email that you use for Healy. Don't put in another erroneous email, because Healy knows you by your username and your email. So make sure whatever email you put in here is the one that Healy has documented for you. The serial number of your device, your sponsor, that's important because then they can actually find you easier. And then the issue. Now, I have seen a couple of people where I've said, could you please send me a copy or a screenshot of what you put in as your ticket? And I've had several people send me that, and it's like this 3-paragraph long stuff that the person who's the customer service that brings it up just probably looks at it and goes, oh, I gotta read through all this and decipher what this person is really trying to tell me. So there are many of us, I'm included, I can raise my hand, that get really wordy and flowery with it. That's not where this should be. We should be thinking like a guy in this. I know that's very feminist, but anyway, that's probably not PC. But what I want you to get to is very compartmentalized. When you say the issue, keep it detailed and simple. It's like, this is what's happening. This is what I've tried. This is, and it's not working. So just really, really simple. This is the issue. You don't have to go on about, well, when I got my Healy and then we got it unboxed, and I'm being facetious, but that's sometimes what I see in a screenshot that comes to me. I'm like, okay, we need to break this down and do bullet points. And then also the resolution, the same. What do you want to happen? I want a refund, I need an RMA, or I would like my subscriptions activated, or whatever that is, the resolution, just clear, cut and dried. I have had 3 tickets that I've put in now. I've helped other people put them in, and within 24 hours, those tickets were done. They were just done because it was really simple. So if you have something that's been lingering an issue for a long time, please just go ahead and copy and paste this from the chat or write it down now, however you want to do that. And then put it in an email, fill out all the stuff, send it to Gwen and Maria, 2020@gmail. I will make sure that it's in the proper order. If it doesn't have all the stuff, I'm sending it right back to you and saying, okay, I need all the information before I escalate this, because we're talking about people at the higher up who have designated customer service individuals specifically to help us. So we want to make sure that it's super easy for them to do it, or they may shut down that channel. And then I'll escalate it to either Vanessa or Tammy, depending on what it looks like and if we can't help you. So I just want to draw your attention to that's what's, in the chat. Okay.
Maria, I'm listening, but I had to take care of Eddie. Can you just say one more time how to get to that page?
Yes.
So it's crystal clear, because that's going to be the next thing, is people are going to ask for that.
Yep. Let's see, do here. We go to here. Oops, I just stopped share. I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back to document and say share. Okay. All right. So this is a Word document that I was just pulling off of the back office. So this is what I just put in the chat. It's the escalating 30+ days and what you need. Okay, then if I scroll down. So in order to find your order number for the escalation, on the left-hand side, when you're in your back office, you're going to go to My Shop. You're going to click the arrow button down and you're going to click My Orders. That will take you to a screen that looks like this. So there's My Shop and My Orders down here. But on that page, it will have, here's your order number. And then over here is the date. Now remember, Europeans always put the month in the middle and the day first. So just remember that when you're looking at the date, if it says 0601, then you know that it was January 6th, not June 1st. So just remember that. Here it says May, but if it were in the European style, it'd say 10:05. Okay, so that's how you get to your order. So that's 2 pieces of information that you're going to need if you're talking about your device. You ordered it here and you ordered it on this day. Okay, so then I go down here. If I want to do, I'm just took screenshots so I could tell you. My support center, putting in a ticket. If you haven't put in a ticket yet, and it's, it's something that you feel like you can handle on your own, you're still going to do the same format in your ticket, but you're going to go to My Support, which is clear at the bottom of everything. Okay, so here is, let me make sure I'm in the right place for you. My Shop. Okay, so here's where we were, is My Shop. But if you go down and you want to put in a ticket, you're going to go to My Support Center. Okay, and then that is going to take you to anything you've put in, or it's going to have a blank screen and it's just going to say submit a new ticket. Okay, if you've already submitted a new ticket, which you need to have before you escalate it, is here is your ticket number, your case number, and then here is the date that you submitted it. So again, look at January 4. It's not April 1st because we're not there yet. It's January 4th. Maybe it would be nice to already be at April. Anyway. Okay. We talked a little bit on that last call. They were talking about point history. I think I'm going to go over that tomorrow night when we go into kind of delving into the back office, because they're talking about the points in the front and then actually finding your point history. And we can do that on another call, Gwen, but tomorrow night's call, I'm just going to do an hour of just getting into the back office and answering people's questions on where to find things and how to get to them. So if you want to be on that call, and it'll also be recorded on our YouTube site. And then there's also another place for payouts. I don't think we'll go into that part tonight, but this is the big one about escalating tickets, because people are having issues and they're getting really frustrated, and I completely understand. I've been super fortunate and literally have had no issues. Like, I can get on my resonance and it works great. I can get on my pink dot and it works great. I can vibrate and nothing's ever interrupted. So I feel bad when somebody calls me and says they're having all these issues, because I just haven't. There's been a few glitches here or there, but I swipe the app closed and bring it back up. And I have a really, really, really cheap Samsung that it seems to work great on. So I can't relate to some of the people that have had issues. Like you, Gwen, you had your subscriptions not active for quite a while, I think.
Yeah, but
who knows?
that's a separate issue than the pink and blue dot connectivity issues. I mean, that was
This is
the
true.
payment processor issue, but just for the sake of time, because we do have a hard stop at 6:30, so I can get ready for the green laser workshop this weekend. I want to make sure that if people have, especially a blue dot app question, since I couldn't answer those last week because my residences were not here, then maybe you can either unmute yourself or put your question in the chat. I have my Healy ready. I can answer your questions. It can be anything about anything pink or blue. If it's back office, if you can ask Maria tomorrow, unless it's something super quick. So let's maybe
Glenn, this is
45 minutes left. So let's just try to focus on that. If you don't have anything else, Maria.
Nope.
Gwen, this is Les. I just wanted to reiterate on Ken's call. He said an equivalent of the Galaxy, in fact, even better, is an Android with the 5 or above on the operating system. He says, buy one at a pawn shop, do not activate it to the phone. It has tremendous computing power. Just use the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi. He says you will have no problems.
Yeah. And I don't know how much they are at pawn shops, but I got mine at Costco for like $100. I mean, the thing is, I had an older tablet, so I don't know if I'd recommend pawn shop because I had an older tablet.
An Android phone.
Oh, an Android phone. Okay, I get that. But also, I was going to say that older tablets that I have an older tablet that I couldn't download the Healy app. So if you have an older phone, I have an older iPhone too, and it also still works for Healy. I still get texts and messages on that thing, and that thing's been turned off a year now, so I don't really know how that's happening. But anyway, yeah, so I do think a second device is the way to go, especially if you keep having issues.
Gwen,
I
can
just
I ask
put
you
a-
a question on the aura analysis?
Yes.
Okay, when you go into the aura analysis and then you do the you record the aura, and then it gives you its little analysis results, and then after all the color page, the following page that shows up with the analysis option of the 3 chakras that are the most in need.
Yeah.
At the top of that, it has focus, and you're able to change like what the focus is in that area. And I am wondering if you change the focus there, will that then reevaluate how the analysis is for those 3 chakras?
Yes, and I apologize. I'm walking around my house because I had to relocate because of my dog, and I can't find my phone stand so that I can, I just found it. So give me 1 second. I'll go into where you're talking about.
Okay. And then my other question was, what are the high negative relevances? Are
It
those
doesn't
just the
matter.
downside?
I'm going to tell you my interpretation of that, but someone else can jump in if they think something different. If it's high negative, to me, it's a suppressed or subconscious item. It's still the highest relevance, but a negative to me is something. I mean, the way I've always interpreted negatives on these types of things is it's still the most relevant. Let's say it's negative 90%. It's more relative than something at 60%. But the negative is probably something that the person might say, no, I don't think so. I don't see how that fits. Or, yeah, that might have been a problem 10 years ago, but I don't think I'm dealing with that now. It's like something that is important, but it's not in their obvious
Awareness. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that totally.
They
Yeah.
also said that on that it could be like Gwen just said, and you, Maria, suppressed subconscious, but maybe even a little bit of generational things in there too. So
Agreed.
Yeah, generational stuff is what Hannah used to call miasms. And miasms are kind of lurking under the surface. So I can understand how that would be too.
I thought miasms usually were developed during the soul development.
No, miasms can even be like TB or something that's like, I don't know if I closed my out a while ago.
Syphilis.
Yeah, syphilis. It can even be like what's another one? I'm trying to think now. Cystic fibrosis, they think is a miasm. So there's different ones that, like your great great grandfather could have had syphilis, and you might be suffering. Well, one thing is, like they say, the gap between people's front teeth and hammer toe are both TB miasms. So it's possible that you could have a miasm going on affecting you.
Yeah, and lung always shows up for me. So me and my dad, I don't think anybody in my dad's family other than my dad had separated teeth, but I do. So, but lung always shows up for me on my feet when someone does reflexology or in the Healy. Lung is always there.
Yeah, they say it skips generations on some of it, but some people also believe it's like also an energetic thing that's passed on, like instead of thinking about genetics. You know, so if you think about, let's see what's going on here. I gotta see I got all these different Healy devices too, so I'm in the same boat as you guys. Okay, so the one I want's this one. This just worked for me a little bit ago, so let me see what's going on. But this is a good example of what you guys are also dealing with. I had something else open. Well, let me just close all this other stuff, because I have a lot of stuff open. What was I gonna say? It even can be like addictions can be considered miasms. You know, like where it's like, you know, your grandfather, let's say, had an addiction and maybe he smoked and your dad doesn't smoke, or no one in your immediate family smoked, and you never met your grandfather. He died before you were even born. So anyway, that can also be. Okay. I don't know why it was telling me I could get in and then I can't connect.
Sherry said that she used her ohms and her GG numbers and is recovering fast from surgery, hernia surgery. Yay.
Yay, that's good.
That's awesome.
I don't even know what I can say about this because it's not working. Hold on, but I've also got 3 Healys going on, and this is the one that Lindsay was using. What's weird is I can get to Eddie, and usually I have to connect before that, so I don't know why.
You go to YouTube, someone's asking about our channel. If you go to YouTube and then type in Gwen and Maria 2020, it'll see a little Healy picture. You'll click on that and then click on videos, and it'll show you everything that's been uploaded so far.
Tell you what,
So
I'm
has
in the
anybody, has
Hold on.
anybody,
hold on. What I'm doing, just because I'm not going to talk the whole time I'm doing this, because this is what I would tell you guys to do. This is sometimes going to happen, and you don't know how many times I've set this, but it fixes it. Is I've just did a hard reset on my Healy and held the power button for 20 seconds. I'm gonna now see if it'll connect, because you know they do get confused because she's been using it on this particular one on her phone, and if it doesn't work this time, then I'm going to delete the app and restart the app. And sometimes this happens, but it's not the end of the world. But it's also, especially when you're flipping between devices, because I still think it's looking for the other device is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead, Maria. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead. You show what you're doing.
Yeah, so I know this is activated because we've already been using it, but I'm gonna delete the app now.
Gwen, before you delete it, what I do is I turn Bluetooth off first and then put your Healy on first and then switch Bluetooth on.
Yeah, I did.
That normally works.
Okay, so wait, let me turn it off. My Healy's off. I'll turn it on. I do this all the time too, but it didn't seem to fix it because it's seeing the Healy I was using earlier today, and it's seeing the one that Lindsay's been using. So it's actually trying to connect to the other Healy, I think. I usually use the same Healy over and over, and I don't normally switch out, but see, it's doing the same thing. So this is like when you're using this multiple devices in the same house, and then you're trying to flip one. My phone is trying to find the Healy that I normally use, which has been the Holistic Health lately. Oh, what am I doing? I'm gonna try it one more time. If it doesn't work, I'm deleting it. Yeah, you guys are gonna get that same kind of crap. Okay, so I keep doing that. Okay, press it down, remove app, remove from home screen. I want it out of there. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. I did something on my phone too that in the last day or two, this might not be a good example because I went to my app store and disabled it yesterday because I was trying not to have it upload apps, but I'll turn it back on.
Okay. So Marcy says with the blue dot, if it analyzes one person, fine, but the next person it won't. The screen goes blank. Same person each time. What's that about? Not mine, but my daughter's. I've never had any problems. I would say there's an interruption in service. If it's working fine on one and then all of a sudden it doesn't, it's a platform interruption issue. It's probably not a Healy issue. But like you can see Gwen here, she's got issues with different Healys in the same area.
Yeah, and you know what I did? I don't know what I did to my app store yesterday because I was trying to disable, not because of Healy, but I was trying to disable just it doing anything to my phone. And I don't know what I did, but I'm trying to figure out where the app store, if I can even get to it now. Let's see.
So I know the microcurrents on the pink dot increase the ATP in the cells and the protein synthesis. Can that be said of the blue dot vibrations? I'm thinking over time, yes, immediately. I mean, we're looking at, cellular response immediately. And that's what the pink dot, that's what the cables are for. That's what it does. Can you get that same protein synthesis over time through vibrations? I believe you can, but I think it's going to take longer. I think, everything starts changing. Everything within our field transmutes down to our physical, but I think it does take time. So Maya's several people in my, go ahead.
No,
Did you
go
find
ahead.
it? Several people in my downline bought the Holistic Health during the promo and are missing many programs from the Holistic Health Plus. I have asked them to put in a service ticket. Have you had any complaints about this? Just make sure, Marilee, that they went into their settings in their pink dot and that they went ahead and did an update, checked for updates, because that could be part of it. If they've already done that, then yeah, they need to go in and ask for their programs. Have them use the template in this chat.
Maria, I don't know if someone's on the call that we can make a co-host because I don't know what I did to my phone last night because I was in bed trying to disable it from doing stuff and I messed it up and I might have to turn off my phone and turn it back on and I can't do that on the Zoom call. So if someone I can walk you through it if someone has their Healy.
Gwen, it's all right. I can ask it next week.
Well, I'm just saying someone else might be able to show their Blue Dot app and I can walk through where they need to go and answer the question. And we can make them a co-host and show the screen if someone feels pretty savvy with their Blue Dot app. I didn't think that I couldn't get to my app store. I don't know what I did to do that, but I didn't know that until just now. And I don't know how to fix it without resetting my phone. That's why you need a 19-year-old or 20-year-old to work for you is because they can fix these things that I do to myself.
Can you press the menu button and just ask for your app store? Because sometimes it'll pop.
Did, but it's telling me that it needs to be updated, but when I go to update it, it showed it can't find the file. I mean, it's not really helping me at all.
Charda says I've been using the Healy for 8 months and now I'm unable to manage to hold the button down to get a hard reset to happen. Should I do a ticket? Do you think it's, I wonder why. I'm wondering why the button won't hold. You can turn it off and on, Charda, but you can't, it won't hold down.
Yeah, I can turn it off and on, but I can't keep it down. When I try to hold it down, like even 30 seconds or more, it just doesn't then go green. It doesn't hold the green. I keep moving my, pressure around. In
So
different
when you're doing
angles.
a hard reset though, what you're doing is the Healy's off completely and then you're holding the button down until the green light comes on. Is that,
Yeah,
and that's how you're doing it, but the green, you can't hold it down long enough for the green light to come on?
right. I used to do it fine, but it's like, I can't find the right sweet
Were you
spot,
doing it a lot? Because I know that they said that there's a limit on how many hard resets you can do.
Oh,
So,
really?
were you doing it like every day, all the time?
No, no.
You weren't hard reset happy?
I don't think so. Oh,
I don't
Vanessa
know.
said it had to be plugged in. Did you try it when it's plugged in?
yes, I had it when it was plugged in and when it's not.
Okay, thanks.
So you've never heard anybody having this problem?
Haven't, but if you're not having any problems turning the Healy off and on, then it makes me think it's not a button issue, like an off and on button issue.
Well, I'm
No.
in, I can't even say why I'm in except for what I just did it again and it's working. So,
So the next page, Gwen,
so hit start analysis or interpretation.
start analysis. So right here and here, you can change the focus at the top of that page. Like instead of my aura is stable.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, does that change the analysis of all three of those chakras?
No.
No?
No, this is what it's doing. So the focus that they give you is just a very broad spectrum. Your chakra energies are going to read the same no matter what the focus is. But when you change the focus and you do the interpretation, it changes the dynamics of your chakra, how it showed up at this moment. Is it more related to that you just had an argument with your daughter? Opposed to my chakras are strong and stable. If you put in my relationships or I communicate well, or I communicate well with my daughter, you might show that some of these are like here 85% or 90% because they have more relevance to why your chakras are the way they are. Does that make sense? Why your levels? So that's kind of it's a misnomer about changing the focus. The focus is just what you might want to use it for is, okay, I have issues with, I can't find a job. So being that my root chakra is really low, my thyroid chakra is off, how relevant is that to, I'm looking for a job and I can't find it and I feel rejected? Opposed to how relevant is that to my aura is strong and stable? We're going to get different percentages, but it's not going to change anything about the scan. It's just going to interpret it a teeny bit different with different levels of relevance.
Great.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And that's really great with clients. So that way, if they're working in a specific area, you can adjust it to that. And especially the negative part of that, to say like what's going on in your subconscious that's also influencing this, that may be in your blind spot.
Right. And you can even ask them, has anything happened within the last 24 to 48 hours that is emotionally upsetting for you? And what did it have to do with? And then when you put in your focus, like she put Eddie, energy and healing. But if you've had, something go down where you had an accident, I'm safe and secure. Well, that may be an issue. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate all the hard work, Gwen, to get into that. You rock.
Yay, she did it.
Woo!
I know it's persistence, but also that was me though too, because I have to figure out how to get my app store back. But this is also the same place where when you see that pencil, that you can also change what you're broadcasting. So if I want to send him, I am healed. I feel better every day.
Deborah had asked if there's a way to get that PDF after the fact, even after you've done it. Yes, you can go to the home button, click on clients, find the client that it was for, click on the list, and then find the list of that aura reading, and then it'll pull it up and you can do, you can go ahead and get it then.
And I can put in there, like, I do stuff like this. I put in there, like, I am loved very much by my mommy. You know, I mean, just sending a little, not that he didn't know that, but just to give little messages, you know, to kids or grandkids. I can send little messages to my grandkids. So I can hit the check mark and save it. And then now that's going to go as part of the vibrate. And then a few weeks ago, we showed how to do it where you just start like from the beginning. You can just type in there whatever you want. You're not sending all this other stuff too, but you can do it either way. So if you want to send in a custom thing, but I always love feeling, you know, like sending to people feeling loved and supported. So, you know, it's easy to throw a little extra something in there.
Maria, if I can just clarify, it's the one that's got all the pictures on it, sorry, the colours on it. So it's the one, the PDF report that you can download once you actually get the aura scan.
When you pull up the, or we'll have Gwen go to that, because I'm not sure exactly what is listed on that. I know you can go back and get the list of the reading, but I don't know what's included on it if the pictures are. But after Gwen gets done, maybe we can have her go into her list, client lists, and see if she can find an aura reading that she did and pull it up, and we'll see if we can send a PDF.
Okay.
See what it looks like.
Okay, so I was going to try to, well, it's not so much on here, it's more on the aura stuff, but you know, Maria and I've talked about this before, where I don't really care about things that are under 50%. But when you're doing it on this kind of broadcast, well, all these look like they're over 50, so that's good. But sometimes they're not. And if everything was under 50, I wouldn't even bother. I would just skip and go to something else. But you see, all these are over 50% for him. And we've answered this question a million times, but if you want to do an action and go vibrate, we usually use the default of 1:20 seconds. You can do longer, but once you start this, you're tied up. You can't do anything else. So if you want, you can, you know, set it for the time. You can always stop it, I guess, if you want to do it longer. So that's like one thing that comes up a lot, like with blue dot questions. What was the last question, Maria?
I've said a couple. We were going to do the see if the PDF for the aura reading was the same as it is after you've already run it and you're finding it in your list columns. So if you could go into, if Eddie, if you've run an aura on Eddie, because you can do a PDF from there with the colored pictures, but then when you go into your lists and you pull it back up, can you also get the same PDF with the colors? With the graphics, I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know without going back and looking. It's not wanting to do that one. Do you want me to go back here and do it, or go to
Yeah,
list?
go to your home button and click on Eddie as a client. And then go to the top three up the top and say show lists. Now, do you have an aura that you've run on him recently, or just that one? We'll scroll and see if you can find it. So click on one of those aura readings and pull it up, and then let's do a PDF and see what gets shown.
Well,
so any of the pink.
And then are you saying then go to actions?
Go to actions and show PDF, and let's see what it shows for that. So scroll. I don't see the photos, but
well, that's what's coming up from list.
Yeah, what I've found is that unless you actually do it in a particular order, you can't actually download the PDF.
Doesn't give you the graphics of what it was.
Yeah, and so if you click analyze, there's no way of getting the scan, the previous page back. You've actually got to do another scan in order to, do it, and then it's changed.
Right. Well, that's unfortunate. I didn't know that they didn't include the graphics.
I remember Marcus saying something on one of the calls like a while ago. I think it was a Wednesday call. And somebody had asked him about that. And he said that what he would do is just do a screenshot of that particular piece. That was one way to get that, is just to do a screenshot.
Yeah, that's probably pretty smart, because I wouldn't sit there and wait for the PDF download. I'll show you what she means. On an iPhone, it's holding the on off button with the top left button, but let's just show you, like, shoot, I was trying to get to the PDF. Hold on. Let me go back one. I thought it was here under, oh, there it is. I just want to show you the difference of what, for people that don't know what she's talking about. Now, see, on mine, it's the same.
Do this.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say you could email it, see if it comes across differently if you email it, but I'm sure Deborah's tried that.
I don't have email on my phone, so I can't do that.
Yeah.
It only shows up when you actually do the Aura scan and then you download the PDF, but you do it from the top, not from the bottom.
Tommy wants you to go back to when you have a chance and show us how to swipe from the right to the left and rename one of the scans that you did.
Okay, and I also want to show something just right here. So if I did a scan on him, it doesn't matter if I'm in Aura or, somewhere else. Like if I want to do this one, I just want to show you something, because actually what I think is easier, and I do this all the time, because this is how I communicate with my clients that want a Healy session, is instead of doing the PDF, I just take screenshots because it's so much faster.
Mhm.
And I can go into my phone app, because that's how I'm going to text it anyway, because I don't have email on my phone. So I have to do it this way. But what I like about it is I can just, pick the two I want to send. And then if I want to send it, to Maria, then it's send, and then that's it. And I can do 10 or 20, so I can hit the whole session, capture them as screenshots, and at the end of the appointment, check them all and then send them. And then you have a record of not only what you did, because if I went through the trouble of doing the scan, I also did a minute and 20 seconds on the broadcast, as long as things were over 50%. But anyway, that's me. I'm going to do it because it's simple, and I don't have email on my phone because of, with HIPAA, you have to, now how did I get to the app again? With HIPAA, you have to be careful with having client data. So there's a reason I don't have it on there, but my blue dot app is hiding again. Anyway, go ahead with another question. I'll try to figure out how.
If you can go into your lists and show how we rename it when you swipe from the right to the left, how it renames.
Yeah. Okay. I got to figure out.
Hey, I just got your screenshots. Thanks, hun.
I know some people are like, what are you sending me? And I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's the stuff that I did, and they still have a million questions. That's the bad part about it, whether it's on the PDF or not, is sometimes it's just easier to tell them what you did real quick than send screenshots, which bring up a lot more questions. I'm trying to figure out how I got there now, since my app is MIA. All right, well, give me another minute. Let's see if there's another question I can answer without showing you.
I'll go back to Sherry's question. The reason she asked about the ATP was because she thought she had heard that both the vibrational healings and the microcurrents were of equal benefits. And I do over time believe they are. I think in the moment though, microcurrent, you're actually sending electricity through your system at that very moment on a physical level. It's not being transmuted out, or it's not being sent into your information field, which then has to transmute down to the physical. So I think over time, yes, they both have amazing results and probably very, very similar. But in the moment, I think the microcurrent with ATP is quicker. What do you have to say about that, Gwen? I know you're busy, so you might not be listening.
I am listening. I'm trying to find out why I can't find the app. I agree with you. I feel like, I think it depends, like, I like the Pink Dot app myself, but I've seen some pretty crazy things with Eddie using the Blue Dot app, and I mean in a hurry.
In a hurry. This is true. Well, we watched it. You got him to eat.
Yeah, and that was with an abscess, which I found out days later he had an abscess. So no wonder he wasn't eating. But as soon as I broadcast that to him, literally within seconds, he was up sniffing the food, and another minute later he was eating. I don't know what I did to get into that again. I don't know how to do it again.
is.
So
There it is.
Can you swipe up, Gwen?
There it is. Just go to search.
yeah, but oh, you're
There,
right. Oh,
right.
that wasn't. I don't
Yeah.
know. I know I'm you can tell I'm illiterate here. Okay, so swipe left. Okay, so let me see if I can go back. Okay, so the way you do that is, sorry, the home button, and then choose the person who you've done the scans on, and then when you go to show list, so let's say it's the last thing I did, like here, then you're just swiping like with my finger. I'm literally swipe left, just like when you're swiping to close an app. And then you can either delete that if I don't want it on there, or I can rename it. And if you rename it, you have to backspace over the numbers, because that's just a time and date stamp. So I can say this one's love or whatever I want to, whatever I did. And then you can save it. So now from now on, it says love. And that was an iChing thing that I did, a broadcast. So I can go back and change all of these if they're things that, like, let's say he had a good response to something like eating, or something else that you have going on, like a painful tooth or something. If something gives you really good results, I would take the time to go back and name them like whatever you want. I tend to run things and see what the person needs or what he needs in the minute. But if you got good results, like the eating statement for one, because that's always a thing with him, is you can just right click it. Left swipe from right to left. I can't talk properly. And then hit rename. And then whatever it did, let's say it was about appetite, or if it was about whatever, then that way you can actually go do your, the benefit of that for the people that don't know what we're doing here is I can go back to that and I can immediately go and vibrate it again. So if it was beneficial, then you don't have to run new scans. Sometimes, well, what I find with people is if something works, it tends to work again. People tend to have the same homeopathic remedies show up, or the same cell salts show up. And, like Cali Myrrh is it's just an example. It's for like congested ears. So if Cali something shows up, it's a potassium issue. But if it keeps showing up, just save it. You don't have to go do scans every time. Just go straight to what's worked, so you get a quick solution. And this is like what I would do for you, especially your family members, your pets. If you're not sure what to do. Now, I tend to go in and just override the whole dang thing and just send them what I want. That's me. But you guys may not know what you want to send. Like if I have a homeopathic remedy in mind, I just go into what I showed you a second ago, and I just might say, okay, he needs sulfur because of my experience with homeopathy, and I just send him whatever I want. Now, you have to know what to do if you're going to do that. But a lot of you are like, I've met and talked to, not met, but talked to a lot of you, and we have some awesome practitioners in this group. And so just, you can override it, but still use Healy as the delivery system. Okay, so there's that. Okay, anyone else have a question on the Blue Dot app, or Maria, do you want to add anything to that?
Don't, but if somebody has questions, definitely unmute, because we got about 6 to 8 minutes, 10 minutes maybe max.
Okay, I just put a question in. This is Suzanne. Someone that I was, she's a clinical nutritionist, so she was interested in knowing more about the Healy, but she keeps quite good records on the progress that she's making with her clients. So once they get, to the level of help, whatever symptom removal they needed, she's asking, well, does that mean they don't need the Healy anymore? And I said, well, there's something to say about being proactive for the future, but what would you say to that?
My answer would be, it depends, because like, even if like a particular issue is resolved, I think just some people are using just the one mental contentment or pure and release, which is kind of like, to me, like, there's the daily, getting things moving. So I don't know that I feel like anyone's ever really done. I mean, I've been working on myself for 25 years, and trust me, there's always something to do. So I think it would just depend. Like, I don't have any particular health issues myself, but I use the Healy. Well, I still use it for sleep, but I don't have like a specific ailment, but I'll be like, okay, I'm going to do hormone support, or I'm going to do mental contentment, or I'm using it for my doggy, so I feel like there's always something in there that could be helpful, even if it's just well-being.
Right.
So I don't know if you have to have a
I
physical.
tried to explain that, but she was just wondering if the healing that they'd gotten from the programs would revert back, like would the healing that she's already gotten on a client, would that stick?
Oh, I think that depends on a lot of things. I think, like for instance, if someone, if you like, let's just say hormone support, because that's one thing I'm doing. If someone's menopausal and you do hormone support, even if it was pills and medicine, they have an effect for so long, but once they're completely out of your system, I would think you're going to decline again. I don't know that age-related hormone deficiency could be permanently resolved by doing healing. Now, I'm not saying it can't. I'm just saying that doesn't make sense to me, because as you get older, your body's producing less hormones. That's just biology. So whether you're taking a supplement or getting a, injection or doing a cream, I think if you stopped everything, you decline. It's almost like a vegan who's anemic. If they're not going to eat meat and they tend towards anemia, and you stop giving them a supply of iron, I mean, how long should that be expected to last?
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think that makes sense.
So I think it depends. And just like the kidneys, the liver, I just did that workshop, and it's fine. And then guess what? We eat and drink and we live, and we're around household cleaners and all kinds of junk, and going through the fast food line every once in a while, that builds up again. So I just don't think anything is permanent, whether it's good or bad. I think that it's a state of, kind of flux and reevaluation.
Okay. Thank
Hey,
you.
Ron. Hey, Ron, can you unmute and ask your watch question?
And I'll try to do a camera too. I don't know, is it working? I have no idea where my camera's showing. But anyways, yeah, we've had our watch since the very beginning, and we actually really never felt it has lived up to all the things that it was discussed that it would do. Just some basic things. The BP, is it BPH, Brett? Yeah. Well, first of all, our sleep very seldom comes up. If it does come up, it takes generally a week, and then it'll just post them all. Or like mine hasn't posted any since the 4th of January now. It's just off and on all the time. The other thing is the when we do our BRAs, when we do that, it forever comes up the same it comes up with the same schedule. And the schedule has never once changed on my phone or Brad's phone. It's the same schedule since the day we got it. And the other thing is that like 4 or 5 of these schedules go to the wrong places in the pink dot, and have never been able to make them go there. We have to go search for them. So there's just been a lot of issues with the watch for us, and it's a fairly expensive bundle.
And I'm assuming that you've hit the little circle at the top to
Yeah.
reconnect and
Yeah, I've reset it several times, and you know, have to go back and fill in all the information. It'll take about 3 or 4 days, and then the history will show up again. But it's just off and on all the time. I just wondered if anybody else with a watch.
And that's
is having
both
any
of your watches, not just yours, but both of your watches do that.
Right.
I have a few things I might suggest, but also, you know, I think at some point, you know, if you're not happy, I would try to return it. I mean, would be what I would do. And especially if it's not functioning properly. But there's a few things that I noticed, and I think I noticed this most because especially when I first got the watch and I was trying to help other people, I was closing the app completely and reopening it. And, you know, and there was updates that would show up and new functions that would show up. So what I found from always clearing my apps a lot by showing other people how to load an app or get started was that there's a few things I noticed on the watch. One is that it seems that the category of the apps, I mean, the recommended apps or programs, it builds. So your top of the list always seems the same, but the list gets longer and longer. So every time, that's one thing I know for sure, is that it always has top things, and they don't clear out automatically. So when you first do it, like the first few times, you have like 3 things, 4 things, 7 things, and then like one day you look and there's like 30 or 40 or 50 in there. And that's because what it's doing is it's adding the program suggested to the whole roster, and it's putting it on that calendar thing. And then unless you take an app off, it just is recycling the same list. But that doesn't mean that that's coming from each scan you're doing, because it's adding the new programs to the list. So what it's doing is saying, okay, the first week you had the Healy, you needed these 4. And then the second week you need these 7. And the next week you need these 3, or however often you're doing that analysis. And unless you clean it up, or unless you delete the app and start over, it's going to keep building. And my list was quite long. Some of you remember seeing it was like I think one time I counted 38 apps there. Well, I'm not going to run those 38. I tended to do the same ones anyway. So that's one thing I can say, is that it seems to be at the top the same, but what's happening is it's adding to the bottom.
Okay, well, it's 7 days. We've always had the first 3 rows with 3 programs, and 4, 5, 6, and 7 have always had the same. Mine is kidney, balance, being, and pure. Brad's is different. It's
pure, relax, and energy.
Yeah. So but they've never changed. They have never changed. And what you were saying though was correct, because I remember day 2 and day 3 originally only had 2, but they've had 3 for 2 months at least. The first 3 have 3 programs each, and that's been never changed in 2 months.
I know. I'm agreeing with you, but what I'm saying is, if you go to the not the calendar where it only has so many it can put on each day, the rest are on that long list that go to your calendar, and it's being added to at the bottom.
And where is that?
I can't show you right now because I can't get into it. But when you look at, like, I know how to get there, when you're in the watch and not looking at the calendar view, but looking at your list to where you can click on it and it takes you to the Pink Dot app. On the first page, it looks always the same, but it doesn't look same when you scroll down to see the bottom of the list, because it's adding, and then you can delete them. Or if you just want a fresh start, you can, take off your app. What I did notice is it's building from the bottom. So the list is getting longer, but until you take the app off that showed up the first time, it stays on there. And because that already plotted on your calendar, it's already in there because it thinks you're still on that same first routine. And then it's adding all your other recommendations to the bottom of the list.
Okay,
and then
we'll have to find that list though, because we're not fine. We're looking for what you're talking about.
I'm only seeing 7 days. We rerun our BRA every Sunday, and so then it gives us 7 days of, programs. And like Ron said, mine is, I only get 3 programs on the first day and then 1 on each other day, but they're always the same for all 7 days. And I don't,
maybe-
if I scroll to the bottom, it just stops at day 7.
Yeah, it's not on that one I'm talking about. It's the same thing happens when you're on the advisor app and you find something that you like and you add it to the list. There's
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We know that one.
Yeah.
I understand that one.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing that's going on with the watch. What I would do is delete the watch app.
That's what I was just gonna say. I would delete it, reinstall it and start over and see what happens. I know you lose, some of your data, but it would be worth it to see what happens if you uninstall, reinstall, and then do another.
Yeah, I just did that, and
Oh, you
like I
did?
said, all the programs are the same, but it did reload some of my data for my sleep on the daily, but it doesn't populate the weekly or the monthly.
Well, the weekly and monthly, if you deleted back, I don't think it would have that. It's not going to bring that in until it's been a month again. Other thing I noticed on the watch about, kind of reproducibility, but this is what I think also with New Vision is, when I was doing mine, I wasn't doing it every day, but I was doing it more often than every week. And 90% of the time, the same programs were recommended because whatever I have going on with oxygen levels in my heart. Eddie, come here, buddy. He's like, he needs something again. So I think that's kind of humans. If kidneys is the weak link, kidneys is the weak link. I see that all the time, even with New Vision. And so I do think there's kind of a trend with people that it's always liver, always kidneys, always whatever. And then every once in a while, something different would show up, but kind of just different, not totally different. It would be like the BPA would say something related to, the heart rate variability, HRV something. And then almost every time it would say that, except every once in a while, it would say something else, but in that same family of HRV stuff. And I don't know if that's it not working correctly or if it's that it keeps picking up the same stuff because the same stuff is the same stuff. I mean, I really don't know because I can only see what I can see for myself. If you guys are having different things show up, but they're consistent, I would just say maybe that's part of what's happening. But
yeah, 'cause it doesn't, if it's the same programs week after week, it doesn't make sense to pay for the subscription if that's all that's, it's always going to be the same.
I agree. And also I didn't have personally the issue of clicking on something and it not taking me there, but it just might be what my list was compared to you guys. If I clicked on it, if it didn't go there at all, it was because the Pink Dot app was already left open from before, but I never had it go to something I didn't click on. Like either it didn't go or it went to what I clicked on.
And I seem to have better luck with the connection to the Pink than what Ron has.
Yeah, that could be no.
The Pink. Oh, the Pink.
Yeah.
Oh, from the watch. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Is your BRA improving though? Are you guys seeing improvements?
No, I've never gone above 20.
Because I've noticed with same kind of issues with mine as well. And I've noticed it not tracking the sleep ever since this new window pops up when you first turn the app on.
Yes.
That you have to accept. That's when I started noticing problems more so. It would like send me to a German version of, that particular program.
Well, my apps will sometimes be in German as well.
Yeah. Yep. And I had seen that they were updating it, I thought. Does anybody
What I
know
would
if they've updated?
recommend is look at the chat, find all the things to put in a ticket, send it to Gwen and Maria 2020@gmail.com after you've submitted a ticket saying, my watch apps are not working, they're not updating, I can't get them to sync. I would like I would like a refund or I would like an extension on my subscription. They have been everybody I've worked with, they've been so good about saying, we're going to give you a free month, plus we're going to give you, what how long it's been since you've been able to work on it or work with it. So if you haven't put in a ticket, I don't know if you have already, Ron,
No,
did you guys put in a ticket yet? Just put in a ticket And then see, I mean, they're starting to respond really quickly. The 3 tickets I've put in within the last week and a half, all of them within 48 hours were resolved or addressed in some way. So they're getting faster. So put in a ticket, you know, with the designated. I can even show that on tomorrow night's call if you want to. I'm sure you've done that, but if people
Yeah.
need to know how to put in a ticket, I can do that on tomorrow night's call. But then we can work on escalating it if you don't get a response really quickly. Because I do think that there are some glitches, and Willow's saying she hasn't, you know, hers has been glitchy too. I really don't understand why some people are having extreme problems and some people are having none. Me. So I'm not sure what that is. I mean, I have a cheap Samsung, you know, phone. It's $168 that, I mean, I haven't had any issues with it. So I don't know if it's, you know, something within the phone, the network, the platform. I'm not sure what's going on. But if you're, you know, if you feel like you've tried everything, definitely put in a support ticket and have them look. Maybe there's something on the back end that they can look at.
Yeah, like my Blue Dot, it works fine, just absolutely fine on the iPad. It hasn't worked for 3 weeks, almost a month now. It's just off and on, you know, on the iPhone. I get just the gray pages is all I get.
Yeah. Okay.
And of course, you know, we've done everything that's been suggested.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, we're living in a day and age too, where, you know, just in November, Gwen and I had an issue right before our webinar that both Stripe and YouTube were completely down for like 7 hours. I mean, those are pretty stable platforms and they were having issues. So, and we know there's so many more people that are utilizing Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. I mean, we've become a society of using our devices nonstop 24/7. So, you know, that could be part of it too. It can be settings within your phone. There's just a lot of reasons why.
Mm-hmm.
And also for you guys, for Ron and Brad, what I would suggest is, Ron, and you might have tried this, but I would try your device on your Healy on Brad's phone or whatever he uses. And if it works fine, then you know it's a phone interaction issue. Because it's easy when you have 2 people or 2 devices or 2 something in your household to try it on a different device. That's troubleshooting 101. If it works on a different device and doesn't work on your, you know, phone or tablet, then there's your answer. But if your Healy device isn't working on either, then I would put in a support ticket. But if it works on Brad's and not yours, I would consider getting just a separate something, a tablet or something just for your Healy, because it might be your phone or some other app that's interfering.
If you erase or delete a client and put the same client back in, is all the history gone?
Mm-hmm.
If you delete them, the history's gone.
All right, because I can run Brad as a client on my phone and the Blue Dot works perfectly on anything I do for him, but it doesn't work for me.
That's weird.
I mean, if I'm clicking on my name, one Ron Kozak, and I just wind up with more than half of the apps on the Blue are go to gray screen. But if I put Brad in there and run all programs on him, pops them all up, then runs them.
Then you might have a ghost in your cabin that you need to deal with.
I just have better energy.
That's right. I was trying to tell you something, Ron, but really I don't know, except for put your Healy on Brad's device.
I'm going to do that. Sounds good.
Anyone, even if your partner spouse doesn't have a Healy, use their phone or use their tablet or use an extra something or an old something you have in the house. That should be your first step in trying to figure out what's going on. And I do think a dedicated device is a good idea.
Yeah, but I don't like carrying my iPad around.
Well, and we've got, you know, we have 5 different devices that we hand out to people just as loaners to let them experience it before they purchase. And I don't think I've had one person call me and go, hey, I can't get this to work. Of course, so I don't do anything with the Blue Dot. It's always just the pink dot. I have them download the app, show them how to run it, send them out the door. They have it for a week, 2 weeks, whatever. I've never had anybody call me and say, I can't get this to go. So it just surprises me again. There's so much going
We've been
on.
calling and texting all of our customers and making sure, and they're all just fine.
They're fine. Yeah.
I'm very happy about that.
Oh, someone said, Dawn says she has trouble running herself as well. Other people work most of the time. And saved, renamed programs always work. So yeah, it's kind of
I mean,
interesting.
Maria's also, I was almost getting the feeling, well, Healy was saying, we don't have to run this. You're okay.
At least you're consistent.
Maria, I have to go because actually I told someone I was going to call them right after this call that had.
Yep, I have to go too, but I'm going to be doing Maria's call. I put it in it's in Gwen's newsletter that she just sent out, but I also put it, I wonder if I can put it again, if that's, nope. It's in the chat. It's tomorrow and I'm using Gwen's, but somehow for whatever reason, there is a passcode. I don't know if it's because I just let everybody come in the waiting room when they come in. I don't know what the difference is, but I will.
I actually fixed some things for you because you had where your video was off, and the way you have to have an admit if you don't have a passcode. So you either have one or the other. If you don't have the waiting room, then there's no passcode. So I don't think it's a big deal. You have a passcode because then you don't have to worry about admitting people. But I did your thing to have it as a recurring meeting, and I did change it to have your video on because it was set with video off. And once you get in, you can't change it. So you should be good for tomorrow.
I didn't even see that it was off. Okay, thank you for changing that. Okay,
yeah, you're welcome.
So I just put it back in the chat. So everybody look over into the chat. There's the meeting ID number and the passcode. It's also in Gwen's newsletter that she just sent out. And yeah, that'll be at 4:30 Mountain, 5:30 Central. And I'm just going to go an hour of going into the back office. We're just going to do some deep diving with people. Everybody can unmute and we can go through what people's questions are and how to find things in the back office, ATP, whatever it is you need to know, business building. We can just sort of touch on a whole lot of things that we typically don't get to on this call, since this is usually more of a technical, hey, how do I run this type Zoom call? So yeah. So anyway, thank you all of you.
Yeah, thanks everybody. And I'll see you next week. Maria, I might jump on tomorrow when I get done with clients, but I'll see the rest of everybody. No, I'll see everybody Saturday, 11 o'clock, free green laser. There's 50 something people signed up right now. It's free. If you want to learn a clearing technique, whether you do this or not, I think you guys are going to love it. And it's open to everybody. So we'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah. Love you all. Have a great night.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you all. Good night.
Bye.